In this video, I am going to cover Excel WhatIf analysis using scenario manager. So the worksheet which you see on the screen, this is my budget versus projected expenses. So my budget amount is shown here in C2 and my projected expenses is shown in cell C3, which is the total of all the individual components here: food, rent, fuel, entertainment, etc. So I have created three scenarios here: expected expense, worst case expense, best case expense, using scenario manager. And when I click show against each scenario, the values against food, rent and fuel will change, which in turn will change the projected expenses and changes the budget amount minus projected expenses here. So I can see how the projected expenses and balance amount changes based on various scenarios. I'll click on this expected expense, watch the values here and the values here, the circled values. I'm going to click on show with cursor against expected expense. So look at the values under projected expense details and the balance amount. I'm clicking show. So the values here changed, and it changed to 445,000. Then I'm going to click on the worst case expense scenario. Look at the values. I'm clicking show. So it changed. Now I am going to click on the best case expense scenario. Going to click show. So the values changed. So this is how scenario manager works. Now let us see how to create various scenarios using Excel WhatIf scenario manager. This is the worksheet showing budget and projected expenses. So I'll click on data tab, go to forecast group, click on the WhatIf analysis drop down and select scenario manager. It opens up a dialog box, scenario manager. So I'll add one scenario. So add, so scenario name. So I'm saying expected expenses, and which all cells to be changed. So I'll click on this. I'm going to press shift key and select the first three cells. So if you have to select non-adjacent cells, you can press control key and select different cells which are non-adjacent. As food, rent and fuel, I am selecting. These are adjacent cells. I am clicking on first cell and then pressing shift key. I am clicking on fuel cell. So it will select all the three cells. So from F2 to F4. Now I click OK. So now it will ask for the values for food, rent and fuel. So the selected cells. So I'm saying expected values are 150,000, and for rent 200,000. This one, fuel 50,000. Okay. So I added expected expenses. Now we'll add one more scenario, that is worst case expenses. And I'll select the three fields, three cells. Is already selected. Now I click OK. It will show values. So worst case expense, food expense, I'll give 300,000. Rent, I'll give 350,000. Fuel, 150,000. Click on OK. So worst case expenses scenario is created. Now we'll add one more scenario by clicking add. Best case expenses, changing cells, these three, same set of three cells. Click on OK. Expense 200,000, rent 190,000, fuel 30,000. Click on OK. So all three scenarios are created. Now it's time to click show and look at the changes it is going to make. So when I click select expected expenses and click on show, the values we updated against expected expenses will be updated in these three cells, and which in turn changes the projected expenses and changes the budget minus projected expenses. So let us click on show. So look at these values and here. So expected expenses 150,000, rent is 200,000, fuel expense is 50,000. So the balance from the budget after deducting project expenses 515,000. So now click on worst case expense and show. So the amounts changed here. So the balance from the budget after project expenses is only 115,000. I click on best case expenses, click show. So the amounts changed here, which we updated against best case expenses scenario, and the balance in budget after subtracting project expenses is 495,000. Click on close. I will generate a summary of the scenario manager. So when you open WhatIf analysis dialog box, you will see a summary. So you click on summary, you click on OK. So it generates a scenario summary here. So with all the values. So current values it shows here, which is same as best case expenses because we have updated, and the expected expenses values are here from these cells. Worst case values are here. Best case expenses are here. So this is how we generate a summary.
The results of each scenario is printed below result cells.
here. So this is the result of this. This is the result of expected expenses. This is the result of worst case expenses. This is the result of best case scenarios. That's it for now. Thanks for watching this video. Please click on like button if you find the information I shared useful and update comments. Also, please subscribe to my channel to get notified about new videos which I will post in future.